the Seven Gupta and all, and try to come earlier, dear. Don't be late. So in the last class, if any doubt you are having, just mention there. Now one more thing, few instructions are there for you. I have seen that a single student is mentioning that, madam, I am that particular roll number, whatever, near about 10 to 20 times in the comment. Once you are mentioning your roll number in the comment, no need to mention it again and again, because it again create confusion for us, dear. We have to maintain the record, and your attendance plays an important role. So if once you are mentioning your roll number and name in the comment box, after that no need to unnecessary again repeat it. So last class, I hope that you won't be having any doubt in which we have discussed regarding. Anyone of you can mention here that what we have discussed in the last class. Just let me see how alert you people are, or whether you are going for the revision or not. Just any one of you mention there. Effect of forces. Yes, Anushri, good. We have done with the effect of forces. The SI unit part, Prisha, already we have discussed. Then Elsa is telling madam balanced and unbalanced forces. So balanced and unbalanced forces, effect of forces, everything is over now. So here, if I will be asking one word, that to change the state of motion or rest of an object, to change the state of motion or rest of an object, you want balanced forces or unbalanced forces. Just depending upon the last class, we are asking there. To change the state of rest or motion, uniform motion, you want unbalanced force. Really, here Anushri has told the answer, Navya also, unbalanced. Avdesh, Kinjal, Prerna, Aishani, Dev, Anushri, Prisha and all, good. So really good. And here Shaurya Jyoti, Chaudhary, present ma'am, okay dear. Now, so already last classes we have discussed regarding the effect of forces, that what are the changes the force can cause, dear. Now, mainly today's class we will focus on the type of forces. So, suppose I will be asking that what are the different type of forces. So, what will be your answer? What are the different type of forces? You may, here Elsa is telling that there are two type of forces. So Elsa, there are many type of forces, dear, but if we will restrict ourselves to your NCERT book, to class 8 level, then we have to discuss here only two type of forces. But mainly you should have the knowledge that here, if we are dividing the forces, we can divide it mainly in 4 criteria. Listen carefully, dear. Here, we can divide the forces mainly into 4 criteria. Like here, first one is your contact forces. Second one is your non-contact forces. Third one and fourth one is not in your syllabus, but at least you should have the knowledge about it. Third one is your weak forces and fourth one is your nuclear forces. So here mainly we are dividing the force into 4 criteria, dear. Here first one is your contact force, second one is non-contact forces, third one is weak forces and fourth one is your nuclear forces. Now listen carefully. Avdesh really means Avdesh and others, there are so many students in your class, those who are going for the higher classes and all. So really good. I am really happy that you people are not confined to the syllabus what is given in your book. At least you should have the knowledge about other forces also. In any subject, whether maths or anything, at least you should have a little bit knowledge about. But the knowledge should be correct. You know this one, that half knowledge is worse than having anything, dear. You should have proper knowledge about the things. So these two parts regarding the weak forces and the nuclear forces we won't be discussing in your class. But suppose I'll be asking you that what are nuclear forces? In chemistry, does your teacher has told you about the structure of atom? Do you have the idea about the structure of atom? Any one of you just mention there. Do you have any idea about structure of atom? Okay, no ma'am only. Okay dear. So leave this part. These two part after the class we will discuss. So for time being, you just have to keep in mind that we are dividing the force into 4 criteria: your contact forces, non-contact forces, your weak forces and the nuclear forces, out of which now we will be discussing only 2, and as soon as our course will be completed, we will be revert back to weak forces and the nuclear forces, because in nuclear forces I have to explain you regarding the whole structure of atom, then only you will be able to understand the things. Now, so mainly depending upon your NCERT syllabus and all, we are dividing the force into 2 criteria, here contact forces and non-contact forces. Here Priyanshu, madam, nucleus, proton, neutron. Yes, I know Priyanshu, you must be having the knowledge, but we have to consider the entire class. If the entire class there are hardly few are knowing the concept, we can't go for it. So don't worry, as soon as the syllabus will be over, we will come back to nuclear forces and weak forces also. So here now from the name itself, contact forces and non-contact forces. Any one of you who can tell me that what are contact force? What are contact force? Just tell me contact forces. Any one of you. From the name itself only, contact forces and non-contact. Contact means what? They must be in contact. Here Soumya has written the answer that contact forces are those forces which come in action only when 2 objects, which come in action only when 2 objects are in actual contact with each other. In the words, contact forces are the type of forces in which one object physically in contact with the other. Anushri, forces by interaction. Sanya, here we put things by touch. Here Anupriya, present only, forces by interaction. Here already in the last class I told you that whenever the minimum need of 2 bodies are there to experience the force, their interaction must be there within 2 bodies. So here in case of contact forces, if I will be asking you that what are contact forces? Contact forces are the forces there which come into action, which come into role when the 2 bodies are in contact with each other. Without the contact, you won't be feeling the particular influence of the particular force. So here in this case of contact forces, you have to mention that the forces which comes in, which acts when the 2 bodies are in contact with each other. Here Nikhil Meena is telling we put things by touch and all. So that part we will discuss Nikhil regarding the types. In contact forces also we are having the different types here. So first of all we will discuss on regarding the contact force only. So in case of contact force here, you can write down here that the force which comes into action when two bodies are in contact of each other. So you have to maintain your notes also. If the notes will be maintained, then everything, the exercise question, everything will be very easy for you. Here this Parihar Mahendra has written that again this part, two bodies in contact. Yes dear. Okay, Anushri is telling that nuclear force is the force that exists only if that regarding the nucleus and other part. That part we will discuss, Anushri, don't worry dear. Now just forget about weak forces and nuclear forces. Just come back to your contact force now. Come to your class 8 level. Here the force which comes into action when two bodies are in contact of each other. When the two bodies will be in contact of each other, these particular forces will act. Such type of forces are known as your contact forces. So Nikhil Meena has told reaction. That part is not given in your book, but we will discuss. So now in contact forces, what are the different type of forces we have to discuss? Contact force means here, suppose we are keeping the duster and I want to lift the duster. If I want to, okay, Rudraksh, what you told beta? Muscular and frictional force here, okay, Elsa and all, they are giving the answer. But muscular force is friction as given in your book dear. So here to lift the particular duster, what we will do? We have to apply our muscular force. Muscular force means here the muscles power we are applying here. Here when we are applying the muscles power or the muscular force, then these two bodies are in contact of each other. So here in case regarding the contact forces. So first of all in exam they will be asking you that what are contact forces. So you write down the definition part, and after that part you have to mention that regarding the types of contact forces. In case of type of contact forces, here mention that types of contact forces. So as you people has told that in type of contact forces, first one we are having muscular force. First one we are having the muscular force. So just give me, ma'am, but industrial less force uses or not. What, Suhani Gupta, just properly you ask the doubt, dear. Navya Maheshwari told that muscular force, friction, tension, normal. So really good, dear. So here first of all let us discuss regarding the muscular force. So if I will be asking you that what do you mean by muscular force, just tell me a class 6 student can give the answer. Here Anushree told that force due to action of muscle is muscular force. So really good. Nikhil Meena, muscular written. So here Lux told muscular, friction, tension, normal. Just they are writing the types of your contact force only. Here Bhanu has told that present only. Else are the forces which is resulted due to the action of muscle. Again, so Ishani has also given the answer. The force resulting due to the acting of the muscles is known as muscular force. So really good. So here Suhani is again having one doubt that ma'am, but in duster less force is used. But why we say that muscular power is used? Listen here, listen Suhani. Just to lift the duster, suppose the duster you are having dear. Now, other case suppose you go for your magnet and all. In case of magnet, it is not compulsory that the magnetic substance and the magnet should be in contact with each other. If the particular magnetic substance is in the particular region up to the field of the magnet, then it can attract it without in contact also, dear. But in case of muscular, what I told that here to lift the duster, unless and until I will be touching the duster, I will be holding with the help of my palm and all, I won't be able to lift it. So here muscular force is your contact force only. So write down in the case of muscular force that the force as a result of our muscles. Muscular power you are applying here. So here the force as a result of our muscles is known as your muscular force. And in exam they can ask you that give me some examples in which you are using your muscular force. Suppose I will be asking you that give me some examples from your daily life where you are using your muscular force. Just so many examples are there, just tell me. So many examples are there. Bullock carts and all, Anushri, yes. In case of bullock carts, you are having the bulls, they are applying their muscular power, their muscular force, and because of the muscular force, it is going forward. Pushing a car, yes, it's good. Bending of body, yes. Kicking of ball, pushing the cart, pulling a cart. In all such cases where you are applying your muscular force, they are your contact force only. So just now we have discussed regarding your contact force. Contact force comes into play when the two bodies are in contact of each other. And after that we are having here the type of contact force. The first one is your muscular force. Muscular force is just a result of your muscles, because of your muscles. Now picking a suitcase, throwing a tennis ball. So good. So Laksh, you played lawn tennis or which? Table tennis, huh Laksh? So really good. So throwing a tennis ball and all, here we are applying your muscular power. So examples part I am not writing here. Examples part you can just write down yourself only. So lifting the bucket, pushing the door, throwing a ball in which the particular objects are in contact of each other. Lifting a dumbbell, Aditya Sharma, so good. So maybe Aditya Sharma of your class is little bit fitness conscious. He is using the dumbbells and all. Good, Aditya. But in lower classes till 18, you don't prefer gym, dear. Now, so if this part is written, we'll be going further. The next type, the muscular force is over, then we'll be going for the main part, your second one. Second one is your friction. So first part here I told that regarding the muscular force. So if you have written about these particular things, just mention there, then we'll be going for your next type of contact force, which is your frictional force. So Navya told, if written or not, just mention there. Here Navya told friction, Anushri told frictional force is that force that oppose the movement between the two surface in contact. Okay, Dev has written. So all you have written this for two parts regarding the contact force. Tanmay Meena also done. Okay dear, Dev written done. Okay, here K. Nikhil Meena. Now Sanya and Noreen, that part we will discuss, don't worry, gravity and all, that we will be discussing regarding your contact, non-contact force dear. Here just we have discussed regarding the contact force, in which we have discussed regarding your muscular force. Now after muscular force, we will be going for friction. That too also listen one thing, in friction also in detail we won't be going it dear, because one chapter is there in your book in which we have to discuss friction in detail. So just will be going for little bit part of friction, as in the next chapter I will be teaching you regarding friction. The second type you write down here, friction. Now tell me, if suppose there are two conditions are there, my question is that normally you are having a floor dear, you are having a floor, you are just walking through the floor, normally you are walking through the floor, and what happened, by mistake the oil spills just over the ground or over the floor. By mistake from your mother or any one of you, just what happened dear, oil पूरा spill out हो गया आपका floor पे. Then my question is that in two conditions, one you are having normal floor and second one the floor where you are having the oil which is spills over the floor. So in which case, just tell me, in which case you will have difficulty in walking? In the first case normal floor, and the second case where you are having the oil. So here Aditya told that we will slip and will fall. So why? What happened in the two cases? The first case normal floor and the second case oil. So what happened in these two cases dear? No one knows about the concept of friction. No one. You people are just laymen. You don't know about anything about friction now. A normal people without having the knowledge of physics and all. Simply what he will tell. In case of floor, there is roughness is there. This roughness helps us to walk smoothly. But in case of oil, when we are having the oil, the surface become very, very slippery. The surface will become very, very slippery. And because of this slippery nature only dear, we won't be able to walk. So this is the concept of your friction. So what is friction dear here? That friction is an opposing force. Aditya told that friction is reduced really good. So when you are putting oil on the floor, the friction is reduced, and as the friction is reduced, it becomes very difficult for us to walk dear. Okay? So in this case here, so let us go for your friction. As many of you people has told me that friction is the force, or directly you can say that it is the opposing force which opposes the motion, but the frictions will come into play, come into role. It will come into role when the two body are in contact of each other. When the two body are in contact of each other, then only it will come into play. Like here, suppose the duster we are just pushing it over the particular surface. Here, between the two surface, here what are the two surfaces dear? The duster and my palm. What are the two surfaces here? Here also frictions comes into play. So I am asking that here what are the two surfaces where the friction is acting? The particular object are in contact of each other. the palm and the duster, dear. So now, after having so many examples, we can go for the definition of your friction. So you can mention here that it is an opposing force. It is an opposing force which, opposing force means what? It opposes what, dear? Frictional force will oppose what? Just tell me. I have written one statement here, one word, that it is an opposing force. Whatever word you are writing in the definition, each and every part should be clear. Without clear idea, better not to use such words. So here Prisha told that motion, yes, it opposes the motion of an object, dear. So good. Here this Sania, Priyanshu, all are writing motion, relative motion. Priyanshu has told that the word relative motion between the two surfaces, motion of the object. So good, really good. And throughout the class, you have to be alert, you have to be present, physically as well as mentally. Don't play the game with your teachers that just doing the login and just go somewhere else. So you have to be alert, you have to be focused, otherwise no use, dear. So here it is an opposing force which comes into play or role when two bodies are in contact of each other, or properly we can use one more sentence here, that as I told you that it is an opposing force which comes into role when two bodies are in contact of each other, or we can say that when there is relative motion between the two object, when there is relative motion between the two, one object is, you are having one object moving over another surface, dear, or properly you can mention here that when one object, and Rudraksh, why you are using such emojis, dear? It's not like your WhatsApp chat and all. You are having regular classes. So why the things are there, you are using this chat and all, you are giving such emojis? If within heart you don't have the respect for your teachers, at least publicly you should have some good manners, good values should be there. So in this case here, it is an opposing force which comes into role when two bodies are in contact of each other, or when one body is just moving over the another object or another surface, dear. Now next part, in friction here, the two surfaces are in contact of each other. Now those who are really interested in physics, they can further go for that what is the reason behind friction. When once you are having a particular object moving over the particular surface, then why the friction? Friction can't be zero. In normal condition, Yukta, we can't neglect the friction, dear. In normal ideal condition, if you are talking about, we don't have a totally frictionless surface. We don't have totally frictionless surface. Here Yukta has told that interlocking of surface means you people are going further again. Good. So really I am happy with you people. So if I will be asking you further that what is the basic reason, the basic mechanism behind your friction, then you can go for your so many extra books and all, dear. That part not given in your book, that what is the reason behind your friction. Why the two particular objects, when they are moving over a surface, why here the particular frictions comes into role. So that part today I am giving you the task. Those who are interested, they go for the particular concept, the mechanism of friction. Those who are really interested in physics and all, they can go for here the particular cause of friction, like Shaurya Jyoti Chaudhary has told, interlocking of surfaces. So good, dear. So that part is okay, but today I won't be discussing it. You have to go through your so many books and all, you just go through it, then only, dear. Now, here Dev has told that, ma'am, we rub our hands in winter and hands get warm. Yes, rubbing is also a friction. You know, friction causes, that part will be discussed in the next class, dear. Here, you know, friction produces heat also. And because of this friction, there is loss of energy. That part we will be discussing in your next chapter, friction chapter. So today, just in this fourth chapter, just introduction part they are asking, dear. So here the friction is over, that it comes into play when the two bodies are in contact of each other, and here this frictional force is the opposing force. It opposes the motion of the object. Here you can mention one more point, important note, that it opposes the motion of the object. It opposes the motion of the object, dear. Now, no surface can't be fully smooth, really, dear. You know, the particular the surface which appears smooth through your naked eyes, if you will be seeing the same surface with the help of your high resolution microscope and all, you will be seeing that the surface which is appearing smooth to your naked eyes will have many irregularities when seen through the microscope and all, dear. That's why here there is no such condition that there will be perfect smooth surface. There are, Yukta, really good, Yukta has told that there are hills and valleys which can't be seen directly, so really good. So that part we will discuss, dear, don't worry. So let us have first this chapter part, a brief introduction about friction. So it is an opposing force which comes into role when two bodies are in contact of each other. It opposes the motion of the object, dear. Now, if I will be asking one question, that here Navya told that if it will smooth, we can't stand on the surface. So now my next question is that, listen carefully the question. Here friction mainly depends upon what? Friction depends upon what? Just tell me quickly. Mainly friction will depend upon motion, or just tell me. Mainly frictions depend upon what, dear? Surface. Really good. Aditya, Anushri, Aditya Sharma, and here Yukta and all are giving the answer. Now here, now Suhani told that, ma'am, meaning of friction in cycles. What, dear? Meaning of friction in cycles means what you want to ask? Just you write down your question properly. So really good. Here mainly frictions depend upon the nature of the surface, whether the surface is smooth or rough. Whether the surface is smooth or rough, that will decide your friction. Obviously, if you will have a rough surface, then friction will be more or less. If you will have a rough surface, the friction will have more or less. More. So really good. So here one more important point you can mention, that. One more important point you mention here, that it depends upon the nature of the surface. In bracket, that is I am writing rough oblique smooth. So here it depends upon the nature of the surface, roughness or smoothness, dear. Now further about the types of friction, that sliding friction and all, that part will be discussed in the next class. So mainly in your book, in contact force, they have given you about muscular force and here frictional force. So if I will be asking, there is one statement given, beta, that friction is an necessary evil. So whether you people are agreed with this statement or not, friction is an necessary evil. Yes, friction is a necessary evil. Just tell me, so evil means what? ये बेकार है बेटा, खराब है, then also we want. then also it is useful to us. So just tell me here that what are the advantages of friction? By means what are the application by which, in which frictions plays important role? Give me at least 2-3 examples from your daily life where friction helps you, dear. We walk with the help of friction only. That evil part is there because it produces heat, and produces heat means there will be loss of energy for walking, for driving, for writing. So for all such cases we need friction. But what are the disadvantages of friction? What are the evil effect of friction? If there is no friction, because there, what Priyanshu written, write down properly, dear. Now Elsa told that ma'am, it produces heat, which sometime in case of some instrument and all, dear, we won't want heat, we don't want loss of energy, and some here because of friction there is loss of energy. Now next part, due to friction, what happens here? There is wear and tear in the machinery parts. The machinery parts, what happened? They get damaged. They get damaged, dear. खराब हो जाते हैं वो. They get damaged. Understood? And because of these things only, we want friction. Friction is a necessary evil. It has some advantages as well as some disadvantages. But we are having so many different ways in which we can reduce friction. So that part we will discuss in the next chapter, where we will discuss friction. Now, so contact force, till your syllabus regarding muscular force and the frictional force is over. As your friends has told me that, madam, regarding normal reaction and regarding your tension, really listen one thing. Normal reaction and tension is not in your syllabus. These are in class 11th, dear. But they are also your contact force. Just little bit hint will give you. Ma'am, what is resistance? Now resistance means opposition, dear. You are just opposing it. In case of electricity, that part will discuss. Resistance is different. Normally resist means to oppose. Like many times your teacher, they are giving emphasis that you have to attend the class, live classes regularly. But what you people are doing? You are resist to yourself. You are not attending the classes, dear. You are so reluctant. You are so resistant towards your own, I don't know, wrong theories. You are not listening to the teachers. You are not attending the classes. Resistance means you are opposing. Opposition part, that part is mainly resistance, and depending upon that only, in water resistance, all that part will discuss, dear. Like Dev, in here, in normal wristwatch, dear, they have written water resistance, written or not? Resistance towards water and all, that too was mentioned, that particular dimension will be given to you. So that part will, now this Priyanshu, now you got the idea? Priyanshu, resistance part we will discuss later. Normal resistance means just opposition, dear. Just you are opposing it. Now mainly we will discuss regarding normal reaction and tension, which is not given in your book. Just little bit knowledge, not the entire part which is given in class 11th. So should I rub this part? Written about your friction. Written about friction. Anushree told that tension means, madam, force exerted by string, ropes, fibers, cables. Then when cables, when they are pulled. Okay, dear. So written. So now I am going for the, here I will be going for the normal reaction and tension part. Just little bit idea you should have. They won't be asking you in exam. Just you should have the knowledge about tension and normal reaction also. Third one is normal reaction. It is also under contact force, dear. Now what do you mean by normal reaction? Nothing is there. Look at here. Suppose we are having a surface. Suppose we are having a surface, dear, and in this surface here I am keeping one block. A wooden block is kept here on the particular surface. So just tell me, I know that by the famous experiment of Newton's, that apple one, each and everyone should have knowledge about the gravity. Each and everyone is having the knowledge about your gravity, dear. So here, if the block is kept at the particular surface, the block is kept at the surface, then the block will have some mass, and you know the difference between mass and weight. Mass is the amount of the substance, dear. Mass is always constant, but weight, you know the definition of weight? What is weight? Just tell me, any one of you, what is weight? How we can define weight? That formula you are writing that mg, the basic difference between mass and weight. Mass is the amount of substance, amount of object, amount of matter. But here I am asking about weight. Weight is the force by which the object is being attracted towards the center of the earth. You have to mention the direction. The object is being attracted towards the center of the earth. So you have to mention that weight is a force by which the object is being attracted towards the center of the earth, and mass is constant, weight is not constant. So till time being only this two part is okay for you, you won't be going further. So here the particular block is kept at the surface, so the weight of the object, will act in which direction? Just tell me. The weight of the object lying on the surface will act in which direction, dear? The weight will act in which direction? Towards south. I am not here just upward, downward. Weight is, just suppose, weight acts where, dear? Downward. Here the weight of the object will act downward. But in this case, here the particular object is kept at the surface. So the surface will also exert a same force, but in which direction? If the weight of the object here is acting in the downward direction, then the particular surface will also exert. The surface will exert a force. In which direction? Just tell me quickly. The surface will, here the weight of the object is acting in the downward direction. I am asking that what will be the force on the block by the surface? Upward, upward, upward. Good, really good. So here the surface will exert a upward force on the block. The object will exert a upward force on the object. So normal means perpendicular. You all know about perpendicular, dear. So here normal means your perpendicular, and a normal reaction here. The surface, the particular force here, the surface is giving or exerting to the block in the perpendicular upward direction. Perpendicular upward direction is known as normal reaction. So here also these two are in contact of each other. They are also in contact of each other, dear. That's why here this particular part is also considered as your normal reaction only. And this Shivani Sharma, now just tell me beta, 39 means hardly the class is going to over, and now just you are entering the class. Within 5 to 10 minutes, listen one thing carefully. Just I will be seeing the comments of your that particular part. Till 5 to 10 minutes I will be giving you for attendance. After that, if you are late by 10 minutes, I won't be marking you absent. There are some decorum in the school also, you have to follow it. If not interested, no need to come. But just after 1 minute, just before 1 minute, just the class is about to over, then you are saying that madam I am little bit late, that too also with such emojis, smiley emojis and all. Everything shows your moral values, what kind of upbringing you are having at your home as well as here, dear. So here this upward force is known as the normal reaction, beta. Now next part is regarding tension. Normal reaction they won't be asking you, beta. Just you should have the knowledge about normal reaction. Now next part is regarding tension. This part written or not? So from next class hardly I'll wait for 10 minutes. After 10 minutes I won't be marking you present. So written, there are so many good students like Elsa and all, like Anushri, Tanmay, Meena, Nikhil, Saurya Jyoti, Dev, Tanmay. Regularly they attend the class. So really good, dear. Regularly they attend the class. So they'll be getting something idea about what is going inside the class. Otherwise, suppose one day you are not live, you are keeping the thing, okay, Yukta also, keeping the things कि कल देख लेंगे, then बेटा कल कभी नहीं आता है. And when the works goes on pending, आप कुछ नहीं कर पाओगे, किसी को interest नहीं आता है. Well, suppose you will be asking your teacher also कि madam, you are having 5 videos are there which you have not seen earlier and बैठ के देखो आप, so possible ही नहीं बेटा आपका. Okay, Saurya Jyoti, your name is Ahana. Okay, dear. Okay, beta. So now normal reaction is over. So let us go for your tension. These are all in contact force. These two are not mentioned. So as Anushri and others has told that tension, the force mainly, yes, Manvendra also. Okay, okay, dear. Okay, dear. So really, many times I won't be able to call out your names properly and all. Okay, so don't get said, dear. You all, those who are attending, they know that how the class is going on, up to which part we have completed, next class what we will start and all. Okay. So here Anushri is telling that madam, the particular spider web, the example of your tension. Tension means what? In daily life, we people are having so many tension, dear. Like you people are having the tension or not? Early morning you have to work up for the classes, and many people you are not getting up early, just सो जाते हो घर में आप, thinking that it is the recording classes and all, so आप बाद में देख लोगे. It's not like that. So here this tension in terms of physics is different. It's force, dear. The force mainly which comes into play in case of your rods, in case of string, when you are having the string, rods and all, chains, in such condition you are having the force known as your tension. Like here, suppose we are having a pendulum. We are having a pendulum, dear, normal pendulum, beta. A normal pendulum, we are hanging it from a surface with the help of a string, Then now in this case of pendulum, suppose I'll be asking you, the weight of the pendulum will act in which direction? Just tell me. The weight of the pendulum bob, the weight of the bob, that spherical bob, that is known as bob only, dear. This one is known as the bob, the metallic bob. The weight will act in the downward direction. The weight will act in the downward direction. And here the tension, if we'll see, in the string, the thread or the string or whatever you are using, then the string will act in this direction. Here, if you are taking this particular bob, अगर आप bob को consider कर रहे हो, if you are considering the bob, then the tension will act in this direction. Always keep one thing in mind, that tension will act always away from the point. Tension always act away from the point, dear, away from the point. Like this point पे, if you want to see at this point, then away, ऊपर की ओर, just upward direction, dear. Suppose here we want to see at this point. If at this point we want to see, then in upward direction or in the downward direction. Always keep one thing in mind. Tension will come into play, dear, whenever we are having like string, chain and rod, such type of questions are there. And here at the particular surface, particular point when you're talking about, from the particular point, tension will always act away from the point. It will act away from the point. Or you can have the concept of umbrella concept. You know the concept, umbrella concept. Umbrella concept means छाता, you know dear, छाता, umbrella concept. Like suppose you are standing, आप बैठे हो यहाँ पर, आप यहाँ पर बैठे हो, you want the tension at this particular point. यहाँ बैठोगे तो छाता को किस साइड ओपन करोगे आप? You will open the umbrella in the upward direction, dear. So tension will act in the upward direction away from the point. And here in this case, if you are having, so here if you will open the umbrella, then it will act in this direction. Just you have to sit at the particular point and just you have to open your umbrella. Just this umbrella concept you should have in your mind. Tension always act away from the point, away from the point. So here mainly for class 8. Mainly for class 8, in case of contact force, you have to keep in mind friction and muscular force. Nothing else is required. But for other students, they should have little bit knowledge about your normal reaction and your tension part. So I hope that in today's class, at least something you people have learned. So if any one of you is having any doubt in today's class, you kindly mention there. Okay Priyanshu, I know that part dear, your weight equal to mass into 9.8, that one and all. So we will be discussing later on. So if any doubt you are having, you can just tell me. And suppose such concept you are having problem dear, then I won't be discussing the higher classes level here in this class. Simply I will restrict myself to class 8 only. You kindly mention there. If you don't want this little bit extra thing, we won't be going further. So you have to mention there. If you are having any problem, any doubt, you kindly ask there. So today's class is mainly about contact force and the type of contact forces. So thank you all. See you again in the next class. Till that next class, you have to go through the revision part. You will be going through the revision and all. Okay dear. So Sanya, next class we will discuss regarding tension. So goodbye dear. And take care of yourself as well as your studies.